We are in section 4, the information and technology dimension for the service level management practice. There will be 3 questions from this topic in the exam. The questions will be a mix of Bloom's level 2, the understanding level, and Bloom's level 3, the application level questions. The tool questions, if any, would be from Bloom's level 2, and automation recommendation questions, if any, will be from Bloom's level 3. Usually, it'll be a mix of questions from the tools and the automation recommendation. The syllabus does not clarify exactly how many questions would appear from the tools and how many exactly from the automation recommendations. So as mentioned before, we will take a look at the tools that are useful from an automation perspective and certain recommendations for automation. Though the service level management practice may appear to be mostly manual, in some cases, automation can significantly help the practice wherever it is possible and effective. And let us look at the possible solutions from an automation perspective. So here we have the various automation tools for this practice. We see here the workflow management and collaboration tools, the knowledge management tools, the analysis and reporting tools. These are generally common tools across many practices. And then we have maybe some which are unique to this practice, such as the service catalog tools, the service configuration management tools, and there are a few more on the next slide. So let's go through them. I'll be reading the text as it is at the start, and then I will be explaining them a bit more afterwards. So the workflow management and collaboration tools, these are useful for planning, managing, and communicating service level agreements, and to discuss, agree, and communicate service quality, and to exchange information with internal and external stakeholders. So what does it really mean? These are the ticketing or the workflow tools which employees generally use for performing their practice work. Just like, we have incident management tools or problem management, change enablement tools, service request management tools. Similarly, we need a workflow and collaboration tool for the service level management practice. This can be useful for communicating the SLA related aspects and elements and for communicating service quality among team members and stakeholders. And note that this is not the formal reporting of the achievement of the SLA. This is just communication while working on the various service level management processes and activities. Again, this tool can also help to perform various service level management activities such as planning, discussing, agreeing on the service levels, and the service quality aspects for specific services and customers. Then we have, and note that this also includes collaborations, which is facilitating communication among team members and stakeholders related to the practice. Then we have the knowledge management tools. These are generally quite common in many IT service management industries. So this is for capturing, sharing, and reusing information about stakeholders, and also to capture, share, and reuse good service management practices and the lessons learned as well. So this can be useful for example, a new joiner can go through the articles, knowledge articles that are available and become familiar with them. It can also be useful for training purposes and to make sure that all team members are working in a similar manner. All of them are using similar procedures and activities for this practice. Then we have the analysis and reporting tools, though usually these are done manually by people, but there can be some amount of automation here as we get more into AI world, the machine learning and AI, then we would begin to see more machine-based analysis tools. So these are useful for analyzing and presenting service quality, the achievement of the service level targets, the stakeholder satisfaction and service improvement. So these could be, for example, some kind of a tool that can help with the cause and effect analysis using cause and effect diagrams or other methods like A3 problem solving or whatever. And to a minimum, these tools should have some kind of a visualization mechanism. Then we have the service catalog tools, which is for presenting the service offering to customers and users. And a service catalog, you might recollect from the foundation level. The service catalog lists all the services offered by a service provider, including not just the live services, but those which will be retired in the future and those which are in the pipeline for the future. So this service catalog tool can be useful to present users with a list of services based on which they can begin their discussions on the service levels. And then that can, once they agree to the service levels, then it'll ensure a good customer and user experience, assuming that those service levels are being met by the service provider. Then we have the Service configuration management tools, another important one for this practice. The service modeling for the viability analysis, that's the purpose of this tool. So what does it mean here? There could be a couple of examples. So for example, when a customer has specific service level requirement, and is it really possible to meet those service level targets? And that can be done only by looking at the service components or the CIs, the configuration items. For example, do configuration items have sufficient capacity, availability, etc., before it can be committed to the customer to agree to that service level target. And essentially, it's about verifying through the SCM maps, the component maps, whether the customer requirements can be fulfilled or not. And therefore, it's called the service modeling for viability analysis. Then let's move on to the next slide. We have a few more interesting ones. Particularly, we have the monitoring and event management tools, and then the built-in service usage monitoring and analysis tools. So let's take a look at those first. The monitoring and event management tools, this is for the monitoring of the service quality. So what does it mean? It's for the gathering and reporting of the metrics related to service performance, and which can then be collated and appropriately formatted and presented using the analysis and reporting tool. And therefore, this monitoring and event management tools help in accurate gathering of the components performance data, the components that are supporting the various services for which the SLA has been agreed. Now, differentiate this from the other tool. We also see the other tool here, which is the built-in service usage monitoring and analysis, which is for objective monitoring of the user experience. This is a bit different. This is mainly for monitoring the user experience, not the monitoring of the performance of the various service components. So that's the difference between the two. And then we have a couple of simple other tools, such as the social media, wherein users might be putting some feedback about a service provider regarding how they are meeting the service levels or not. And that can be monitored using social media. And then the survey tools are for periodic surveys or event-based surveys that can be sent out to users and customers from time to time, or event-based. So these are the various automation solutions for the practice.